Hey everybody, this is Mike from EdgeNote 50 TV. That's right, EdgeNote 50 TV. And we're going to be talking about boxing. Hey, if this is the first time you're listening to this channel or watching it, then hit that subscribe button. And if you're liking the show, remember to hit that like button, because hitting that like button means there's more visibility to the show. And anything to do with boxing, you know me, I like to talk about it. So, today, this is not going to be a long show, but, you know, Demetrius Andrade, the WBO ordered it with Billy Joe Saunders, so obviously I had to talk about it, so that's what I'm going to do. So, for those who are in the know, I put on there that, you know, obviously WBO has ordered now Billy Joe Saunders to be the #1 mandatory challenger for Demetrius Andrade. So people that don't know the background to this story, I'm going to explain it. So, back last year in October, Demetrius Andrade, Billy. Look, let's go back from the beginning. So basically, what happened was Billy Joe Saunders was the WBO champion, and Demetrius Andrade was the mandatory. So what happened was the WBO ordered Billy Joe Saunders versus Demetrius Andrade. It went to purse bids. And no, it didn't go to purse bids. Eddie Hearn put an offer that was too good to refuse to Billy Joe Saunders. They accepted the fight, and the fight was due to be scheduled in October. However, about a week before the fight was supposed to happen, then Billy Joe Saunders was tested positive for oxyfrane, which is a performance-enhancing drug, but however with the UCAD, it was acceptable, but with VADA, who is the US drug testing agency, he tested positive. So as a result of that, he was stripped of his WBO belt, and he was banned from October the 11th, 2018. He was banned for 6 months. And as a result of that, Andrade faced the next mandatory challenger up, and he won that belt. So since then, he was being banned for 6 months from October the 11th to 2018. And now today it's been announced that they've cut that short and they've made him back to mandatory. Now, some of you probably have some questions in regards to, wait a minute, he was banned on the 11th of October, so why is it 6 months is not up yet? So why is it, you know, they've done it early? Well, I would describe it as more like a prison sentence. You know, when people go to prison and announce that you're in prison for 10 years, but you can come out and fire for good behavior. That's pretty much what's happened with Billy Joe Saunders. So effectively, they've banned him last year for 6 months. However, under certain conditions that they gave him, if he fulfilled those certain conditions and those requirements, then they can appeal, send a request to reverse that decision, to make him back to mandatory, and then they'll be able to do it. So basically what's happened is, during that period, since he's been banned, they gave him conditions in regards to doing charity and community work, and he's been tested by VADA and WADA during that period. And as long as he came out clean, had good conduct as well, because you can remember in that period as well, he had lots of controversy in regards to, you know, that issue with the poor person on the street when he was driving by. He was getting all these issues, you know, doing bets and putting on YouTube and Instagram. So basically, he had to be on good behavior, and he had to do charity work with underprivileged kids. Tested, as long as he tested negative, then he can appeal that decision. So on the 15th of January, his lawyers went and appealed that decision, based on him fulfilling all the conditions that the WBO has set when they initially done that 6-month ban. And what's happened is the WBO has reviewed that request from them, and they have reinstated him back as the mandatory. Now for Billy Joe Saunders, that's great. You know, he's back on the mandatory position. But for those of you who are not a big fan of Billy Joe Saunders and you're wondering, wait a minute, that's not fair, there's other people that's in the rankings that should be, you know, that now they're affected because of this. Well, the WBO, it's not just the WBO. The WBO, WBA, IBF, WBC, in their regulations, they all have discretionary in all their T's and C's, if you guys are not aware of it. So basically, these governing bodies can do whatever they want, you know. And when they announced this, they said that they're able to do this due to policy 1.c point whatever in the terms and conditions, saying that, oh, it's due to their discretion who becomes the mandatory. That's what they're using. So effectively, they can do whatever they want. That's basically what it is. They could do whatever they want, and they've decided after reviewing it, they've cancelled it 3 months early, and they made him back to mandatory. So that's the situation as it stands right now. So they've got 30 days to discuss the negotiations, and if they don't come to an agreement, then it's going to go to purse bids. And, you know, that means that any person, network, promoter, whatever, can bid for this fight. So in theory, it's unlikely, but in theory that it goes to purse bids, this fight can end up being on Showtime. This could end up being on BT Sport. This could end up being on ITV. ITV are doing boxing now. So, but it's unlikely, but that's a situation if they don't negotiate a fight, which I think they will do. And that's currently where we're at the moment. So because they have ordered this and now they've made it mandatory and they've ordered it to be for them to negotiate the fight, this fight was previously at 10% possibility based on what Andrade said after his last fight. However, after they've ordered it, this fight, as in ranking, as in more likelihood, is gone up from 10% to about 80-85%. I personally believe that this fight will be next. I believe that personally that this fight will be next now, based on this ruling. Andrade wanted this fight from day dot. He wanted it. Billy Joe Saunders fancied it, but he fancied it maybe because he was offered a lot, like he said, life-changing money. So the question is, will he go for it now? I think he would, because I think he needs this. I don't think he'll get this opportunity again if he decides to pull out. And he needs to get back into the picture again. So I think he'll take it. This is the fight. I think this will be a good fight. This will be an exciting fight. I was looking forward to this fight first time round, and I was sad when he was, when it got cancelled. But now hopefully they can negotiate, they can discuss it, and hopefully this fight can be made. For I don't know when it will be, for the summertime, I'm hoping. But I think this is going to be the fight that's going to be next. And I'll be happy if this fight gets made. I did mention in my previous shows before where I said I didn't mention Billy Joe Saunders because he was still banned. So obviously there's no point talking about him. But I did mention Andrade versus the likes of Golovkin, maybe Charlo. But Billy Joe Saunders, I think this will be a good fight for him to come back to. And I'll be happy if this fight, if it does get made. The one question is whether Billy Joe Saunders will be happy with the money that will be on offer. That will be the question. He was offered life-changing money before, but he is not going to be getting that kind of money again, because now he's coming in as the mandatory challenger and he's not coming as the belt holder. So Billy Joe Saunders, hopefully common sense will prevail and he'll say, you know what? Yes, my bad. I'm coming in. I'm going to take, less money just to prove to myself that I can do it. And hopefully that can happen. But yeah, that's my opinion on the whole situation. And that's the situation with the WBO. For those of you who are not familiar with the WBO rules and regulations, I just thought I'd just do this show just to let you know more detail about exactly what's happening with the WBO and the regulations and how it all works, and the reasons why that even though that Billy Joe Saunders was banned for 6 months, they have changed it and they have lifted his suspension early and given him the mandatory early. To cut it short, the WBO can do whatever they want because their T's and C's says discretionary. And that's how it works. It's unfair to the other fighters who fought and who have tried to work their way up the rankings to get to the position that they are, and they've done it cleanly and they've done it without getting banned or anything like that. However, when you sign up with these organizations, you should be aware that they can pull these things at any time. They can pull it at any time. And the fact is that Billy Joe Saunders is one of the biggest names in the WBO rankings, and it doesn't make no sense for them to penalize Billy Joe Saunders longer than what they should do. So you know, it all comes down to money, and like they say with WBO, if it makes money, it makes sense. So, and that's how the WBO is looking at it in regards to a financial sense. It's not just the WBO that does this. The WBC does it. You know, the WBC are doing it now with Wilder and Fury, even though that Dominic Brazil has been mandatory for over a year. And in their T's and C's, it says that a mandatory has to be called every 9 to 12 months. It's over 12 months, and Dominic Brazil still hasn't been called, and it could be it could be up to 2 years before Dominic Brazil's mandatory is called, even though in the WBC's terms and regulations it says 12 months. So I'm just letting you guys aware that the WBO can do this, WBC can do it. As long as it says discretionary on all their T's and C's, they can do whatever they want, and nobody can't do nothing about it. But all that being said, I am happy that hopefully that this fight can be made, and I'm looking forward to it. And I hope it does happen. I hope it does make it happen. And I'm hoping that it will be on TV in the UK on a channel that I can be able to watch without having to pay pay-per-view. So anyways, that's my opinion on the whole situation. There's 3 people watching. I can see you guys right now. Hit that like button if you're liking the show. Hit that like button. Yeah. Yeah. If you're new to watching it, hit that subscribe button as well. I got 265 subscribers. Trying to get up to 300, one step at a time. Anyways, that's all I'm gonna talk about. I just wanted to talk about that for you now. And if you guys got any questions you guys want me to talk about, leave it in the comments and I'll try to reply to as many as possible. But yeah, I'm going to do more shows like this on the regular. Anything else you want me to talk about, let me know and I'm going to talk about it. Thanks a lot, guys, who's watching, who's listening to the show.